Hello and welcome to Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. On today's show, we'll learn all about an after-school program with opportunities in leadership, team building, and improving decision-making skills for young girls. But first, what do Chelsea Handler, Max Weinberg, and Ron Jaworski have in common? They are among the 2022 New Jersey Hall of Fame inductees. Joining us now to tell us more is the president of the New Jersey Hall of Fame, Steve Edwards. Steve, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Lisa. It's a real pleasure.
I am so happy to finally have you on Your New Jersey because I am such a fan of the New Jersey Hall of Fame and all that it stands for. Before we get into this year's inductees, tell us all about the Hall of Fame.
So I always knew I liked you, Lisa, the fact that you love us. Thank you very, very much. Our mission is very simple, and I think many people know it by now because we've been around now for 15 years. The mission is to celebrate New Jersey. We've got such a great state. It's to honor our legends. Those are people in all walks of life that have reached the pinnacle of their respective professions, not just sports, not just entertainment, but science and teachers. So many people make up this great state. So that's an important part of our mission, celebrating and honoring. But really, the soul of the organization, what really drives us on a day-to-day basis, those that volunteer, is to help inspire people, young people and people of all ages, and remind them that, like our inductees who are heroes, they too can reach the pinnacle. They can live lives on purpose, and they can feel fulfilled. So that's what we do at the Hall of Fame.
And you are the brain behind it. You're the one who started it. How did that come to be?
Nobody has described me as the brain behind anything. Let me get that completely straight. But I'm on the executive committee. I happen to be the president of the Hall of Fame. I'm one of 200 people at least that make the Hall of Fame go around every day. For me, it's a labor of love. I was inspired by my dad. He was my hero. And for me, it's just very, very important to bring a concept that really is the soul of our organization to as many people as possible. It's a concept called arete. It means the act of actualizing your highest and best sense of self for the greater good. And that's a concept that Plato and Aristotle and Socrates all referred to as the essence of life. And I think it's missing. I think a lot of people are not living lives on purpose. So what we really try to do is ignite a passion in people. We want everyone to have the opportunity to live a rich and expansive life.
Absolutely. Well, here in the Garden State, there's no shortage of talent. Tell us about the nomination and voting process.
So nomination and voting process, we're one of 5 states that have halls of fame. Believe it or not, most states do not have a hall of fame. So I think Jersey is being a trendsetter yet again. We have a very grassroots, inclusive process. We have a master list, well over 1,000 names of people that are potentially deserving of being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And then we narrow it down through a group of experts to the top 100 nominees every year. We then hand off the top 100 to our academy. Our academy is 350 prominent organizations across the state, including former governors. The academy helps narrow down the list every year to the top 50 nominees, and then we get the public involved, and we encourage the public to give us their input. Ultimately, what starts as 100 down to 50 winds up being a class every year of anywhere from 10 to 15 people across all walks of life. And so we always invite the public and your audience to go to njhalloffame.org every year, once a year, usually in the May timeframe. You too can vote and help us elect each year's class.
So once you have your class, you have a splashy induction ceremony. Talk to us about that.
So we have, and it's really unique to New Jersey. There's no other state that does what we do. I like to be cute and say it's sort of like the Academy Awards. It really
It
is, though.
is. No, don't be humble. It totally is. Definitely.
We once a year. Normally, we're live. The last few years have been virtual. This next induction, unfortunately, is going to be virtual one more year, and then we'll be back to the live format. But we have an MC. Usually it's a very high profile. We've Danny DeVito was our virtual MC last year, Jason Alexander the year before. There are musical performances at these induction ceremonies, there's comedy. But I think the most important thing is New Jersey gets a chance to see these high profile personalities that have spent a career, becoming who they've become. And New Jerseyans get to hear their swan songs to the state, what New Jersey meant and means, continues to mean to them. So it's a lot of great acceptance speeches. There's always high profile personalities to induct our inductees, to present them. And so it's a real fun night. It's one night a year that I think New Jersey deserves, to celebrate ourselves.
So you've been at every induction ceremony. Who was the one person that left you starstruck?
I've been fortunate enough to produce every induction ceremony. I think there were two people. One would be Bruce Springsteen. Bruce, was born the same day as Bruce was. I've been following his career since, I don't even want to tell you, back in the 70s. So I get a little, I don't talk to him. I open my mouth and nothing comes out. I'm a little starstruck by him. But Jack Nicholson, I think, was the most humble of anyone I've ever met. I was very surprised by it, just very humble. And I brought him to his class picture with all the other inductees, and it was yes, sir. He was taking, like I was the director of his film. But that's a class act as far as I'm concerned.
I love to hear stories like that. So I know that you also give back to the community in other ways, one way through your scholarship program.
I talked about that concept of arete. We have the arete scholarship. So every year we invite high school seniors to tell us, what is your arete? What's your highest version of self? And what are you going to do throughout your life to realize that highest version of yourself? And we get back so many applications every year. We pick ultimately one male and one female. And I'd like to think it's a coveted award that's going to keep getting more and more prestigious as the years go on. And it means a lot to me personally. It happened to be the name of my father's boat, that concept, arete. And just means a lot to me to be able to promote that.
Well, speaking of promotion, throughout my travels through the years, I've seen the mobile Hall of Fame parked in front of Prudential Center, the Meadowlands, but now you're going to have a permanent home inside the American Dream. Tell us about it.
Thank you for bringing it up. We're so excited. It's been a long time coming. So many people have gotten us to this point. Literally this week, we're going to begin construction over at the American Dream complex on what is going to be a 10,000 square foot, state-of-the-art, very high-tech entertainment and learning center. The location, you cannot ask for a better location. We're adjacent to DreamWorks Water Park, Nickelodeon Universal Theme Park. We're very close to Sea Life and Legoland. And this is going to be sort of the mothership for the New Jersey Hall of Fame. And folks are going to have an opportunity. Our signature item is the Model T that Henry Ford gifted to Thomas Edison in 1933. People are going to be able to have a chance to look at it and then go on a simulator, which simulates the experience of riding in the Model T back in the 1930s with the bad suspension that it had. And then the Model T morphs into a spaceship. The Kelly brothers, Mark and Scott, will be narrating that experience as you take a trip to the moon. So it's going to be a lot of hologram-centric type of attractions, a lot of motion ride attractions, very unique. And we can't wait for it to be finished. It should be ready in the spring of 2023. We're going to do everything possible to make that a reality. And then we invite every New Jerseyan and people from around the world to come and see Jersey greatness in all its glory.
Well, you have Ed Walsh, a common friend of ours, heading up the construction, so we know it's going to get done.
I yell at him 3 times a day. Next question.
Ed'll love that. Well, you're on a film set right now for the new Hall of Fame. Tell us what you were doing just today.
So just today, that's a great question. Just today, it was such an honor and it was so exciting to watch Gloria Gaynor perform her iconic song, I Will Survive. And that song, and Gloria will be presenting that song on our karaoke stage at the Entertainment and Learning Center. And so our patrons are going to be able to literally go on stage next to Gloria and sing I Will Survive as if Gloria is there with them. And then they're going to be able to capture that performance and be able to share it with their friends and their family on social media. I also had an opportunity to interview Gloria for what we call the Late Night Jersey television studio that we have at the Entertainment Center. We ask our legends questions that are designed to help people realize their own potential. And I just have to say that Gloria gave, and no offense to our other inductees, they're all doing a great job, but I think she just gave the best interview that we've done so far. It was so inspiring. It came from her heart. She's so humble. And so I'm on a high right now from having interviewed a legend like that.
And she is the real deal. I've worked with her. She's very involved at Trinitas Regional Medical Center in Elizabeth. So she's always giving back to the community. And she is the epitome of New Jersey.
She really is. And I just said to her, you know, she's what strikes me, she's an immense talent. As you say, she's charitable. It's not just Trinitas. She's done so much there, but around the world, she's giving up her time. But her humility, her being real, was something that struck me as very inspiring, and I was very impressed by.
So on this hologram stage, is Bruce part of it, and Bon Jovi and Frank Sinatra? I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, we're not talking about our whole lineup yet. All I can tell you is we're reaching out to everybody. It's going to be diverse. It's going to have lots of legends. Monday, by the way, we just had Wycliffe Jean performed "If I Were President" for the karaoke stage. Tommy James has performed "Moni Moni," Moni Moni. I'm trying to think. Joe Piscopo did a funny Jersey song. You got to catch that.
I'm sure. Yes.
Yeah. There's just so many more that are on our schedule, or I believe will be on our schedule very soon. I think at the end of the day, our patrons are going to be able probably to see about at least a dozen of these incredible performances on the karaoke stage.
Well, I can't wait for your spot to open. And when it does, your New Jersey will be there because I would love to do a show from there.
We would love for you to do a show. That would be actually a nice touch. And we would love to do that. I'll set up the cameras and the lights. How does that sound?
Perfect.
You can get
Perfect.
A better guest. And maybe at the show, this fly that keeps going by me will show up as well. Sorry about that. If anyone at home is watching the fly and watching me.
We have him here too. Well, thank you so much, Steve, for taking the time. I know speaking to me isn't like speaking to Gloria Gaynor, but I'm very honored nonetheless.
You're an immense talent in the making, Lisa, and I expect you to be inducted into the New Jersey Hall of Fame one day. I don't think I'll be alive. No offense to you, but I'm sure you'll do it in the next 10 years. Maybe I will be alive, and I think you would.
If I do get inducted, put me next to Derek Jeter, because that's my favorite inductee.
Ah, okay. I'm a Yankee fan, so I think I could arrange that.
All right, awesome. That's the deal. Well, where can people find out more about you and to monitor the progress of all the amazing things you have going on?
Yeah, people can find out more about the New Jersey Hall of Fame by going to njhalloffame.org. But one of the nice things, thanks to the governor and the first lady and Port Authority and New Jersey Transit and the New Jersey Turnpike, they have all helped to get the Hall of Fame to the next level. So it's very likely that every New Jerseyan is going to run into the Hall of Fame now. We renamed the Garden State Parkway service areas after various New Jersey Hall of Fame inductees. We're in the process of creating Hard Rock Cafe exhibits, if you will, at each Garden State Parkway service area. So by next year, that should all be done. We've got inspirational posters up all three terminals of Newark Airport. We're at Secaucus train station now. We're at New York Penn Station. And so the nice thing is it's not just colorful posters. Each one of these posters has inspirational quotes. So for those that see them, we hope you're going to get a shot of positive wisdom as you're traveling, and that you can take that back, and that can help you in your own life.
I love it. I love it. And the Hall of Fame is going to just continue to grow in legend because there's so many more legends that have yet to be inducted. I mean, your list is still a mile long.
It is true. People keep asking, I don't know why, but people keep saying, "Aren't you going to run out?" There is no chance anytime soon for many, many years to come. Never really, because there's always new talent that comes along as well and becomes the new legends. But we have hundreds and hundreds. Like I said before, we have 1,000 names on our master list in all 5 categories that we induct in. And so, yeah, there's just so many more exciting induction ceremonies to come up, and so many more folks whose legacies we're going to further in our entertainment center.
Steve, thank you so, so much for coming on here and taking the time. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for having me, Lisa. I appreciate it.
Natalie Maniscalco and Irene Zervutis are the co-founders of Wonder Girls, an after-school program for middle and high school girls with the mission to build confidence, leadership, community, and the necessary business skills to succeed. They join us now. Natalie, Irene, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
It's amazing to me that you started this in 2020 while we were in the throes, obviously, of the global pandemic. How did you set your idea in motion with so much working against you?
Irene and I had been working together for a couple of years already. We were good friends for about 5 years, and we had always wanted to do something together to help empower young girls. Irene has 3 teen girls, and I have a stepdaughter, and we just were seeing the effects of, social media and the pandemic on girls, and we just decided, let's just throw caution to the wind and see what happens. And we launched first with a campaign to help raise money and our website. And within a month, we raised $10,000. And we thought, okay, we're on to something. This is definitely a program that is needed for young girls. And we're just so excited to see how far we've come and expand and just reach more and more girls.
I think for me, it was also sort of wanting my girls to have something that I didn't necessarily have growing up. Had the best family, super supportive, but the more initially, I don't know if I thought of this, but now I'm really helping these girls to have something that I didn't when I was their age. And that's become like sort of the biggest mission for me.
What aspect of life are young women finding most challenging?
I mean, that's a loaded question, Lisa. I'll start with just a few things and Natalie can piggyback off of that, but social media, obviously, that is the top challenge, I'd say, even in my home. They're constantly seeing beautiful images, even if they're fake, in their faces constantly. That's number one, social media. And we could go, super in depth about that, but it would take about 5 hours. And I think girls not knowing how to support other girls is huge. My daughters understand how to support other girls, but it's because I'm constantly doing it myself as a mom and as a woman. So they're learning from that. And I'm preaching it a lot too. Just the importance of boosting each other up, especially in middle school and high school. They're in competition, So that's from my perspective as a mom. I don't know if Natalie has more to add to that.
I would agree. Number one is social media. Teens, obviously, we've all gone through the growing pains of being a teenager. It's not easy no matter what. But we didn't have social media growing up. And that's a huge factor in the way these girls start thinking about themselves at a very, very young age. And that's why a lot of eating disorders, negative body image, and just the lack of self-esteem and confidence, anxiety, the feeling of anxiety, and also just, constantly feeling connected to having to be connected to the phone and technology, and that has actually caused a lot of anxiety. All of the different apps that social media has as well. And I think that parents and teachers are overwhelmed with trying to deal with everyday life, that they just can't do everything. And that's where we always say for Wonder Girls, we step in as well. It, as they say, it takes a village to raise a child. And we like to say that we are that village, because we come in, it's not just Irene and I, we come in with 30, 40 women every year from all different backgrounds, all different educational paths, life paths. We have women that are divorced, that are single, that don't have children, that are married, that are not, have amazing jobs and careers and leadership roles, or roles that you just wouldn't think that a woman would be a part of, like an FBI agent or a police officer. And they get to hear and be exposed to women from all different angles. And sometimes it just makes it easier on these teens to hear these stories, these personal stories from women that they would never, ever get a chance to meet otherwise. And sometimes, I hate to say it, I mean, it's not that, we want them to listen to their parents, but sometimes they need to hear it from someone else to be able to say, okay, yeah, that makes sense, right? And this is the right way to do things. And this is the way, I should apply for a job and handle myself professionally and dress successfully and things like that. And these are all the different types of topics and subjects that we talk about with our girls to make them feel a little bit more prepared when they get out of high school.
What has the feedback been?
I mean, very positive in literally everything we do. And from the workshops, yes, the girls love the workshops. They love interacting with each other. It's opening their eyes to so many different topics, and working on themselves as well. But I'd say our community service days have really opened up doors to a different type of esteem within our girls and their parents. A lot of them walk in kind of with their heads down. They don't all know each other. And after they've done a community service day, they feel super empowered, very confident in themselves, and really proud of themselves. And they're also connecting with other girls that they didn't know before. And I think it's because there's just this common, beautiful, thing going on where they're being of service to others. And it really builds their esteem when they're doing that.
If you look at our testimonials, we have video testimonials written. I mean, the feedback is so amazing. It fills our hearts to hear the way they're feeling about our program and how they love hearing stories from other women. And they also love the fact that they can meet girls that they can actually relate to, and that they're hearing their stories too. And we're pulling out those experiences for them. We're pulling out those conversations that they may not be having in school, or they may not be having at home, and then realize, oh, well, she feels the same way about herself, and so do I, but I feel I'm in a safe environment and I can talk about it and feel really good about myself. And so it's just been absolutely amazing. I mean, we had one girl that I love to say, she came in, she did not want to come. She was giving her grandmother actually a really hard time. She comes in, she goes through the whole workshop, and at the end, she runs out to her grandmother and she goes, I'm going to manifest the new Naomi. And it was just, and we had just done a workshop about leadership and manifestation and mindset, and how important it is from a woman who literally clawed her way out of the projects in the Bronx and is a super successful pastry maker. And they need to hear these stories, right? They need to be doing productive things. And that's why, as Irene said, our community service days are so important for them, because not only are they realizing what is beyond their own little bubble, that right in their own backyard, there are people who can't afford to put food on the table. And then here they are packing bags of food and giving them out to families. But it also gives them a sense of, social responsibility, doing good, helping others. And then that's that confidence in themselves that they just did something really good and that they should feel really good about themselves. And that's what's really important for teens, is just to make sure that they're they're being supported in every way possible and given the opportunities to do different things that they wouldn't necessarily be able to do on their own.
What schools in New Jersey feature your program?
So we're at Cliffside Park High School right now. We're starting in Lyndhurst High School in September. And then we're also starting with Garfield Park Academy in Willingboro, New Jersey. And then we have a community center that we're going to be running it for a few of the other schools that we're not in yet. And then there's a bunch of other schools that are interested.
Where can people find out more about you?
You can go to wondergirlsusa.org, and we are on social media on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and also on LinkedIn.
Irene, Natalie, thank you so much for coming on here and sharing your story.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for joining me on another episode of Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falvo. We'll see you back here next week.